Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? Hey, it's Johnny Calloway, aka Tvshka. Welcome, y'all, to another beautiful Saturday. Last week we had tornadoes that almost blew us over. This Tuesday we kind of had the same thing. We had some sirens going on, but all is well, man. All is clear as day, and all the Texans are back. That is for sure. Right now, here in Broken Bow, we got about probably 10,000 different individuals coming up. But let me turn this music down so y'all can hear me a bit. Still working out some of the technical kinks, man. But that's what we're doing here. So if you're joining us for the first time, whether it be live or whether it be in the future, hope the future as well. Hope COVID is done by the time you're watching this in the future. But if you're watching us, anyways, what we're doing is we're actually testing out a lot of equipment. I got a GoPro 7 Hero that I'm using for the live stream. I've got my Quadcast mic. Also just using a lot of different streaming elements and streaming channels and testing it all out, figuring out the kinks. Not more so much that we can build our content, but we want to help you build your content. And so we're actually a creative and a marketing design company. And so we actually want to help you with your overlays, with your video editing, even just kind of education on this. And so if you're a musician and, if you're an artist, if you're a video gamer, if you're a podcast, anything of, and more, let us know. We want to help you out. We want to be a company for the people because if one thing is very certain is during this COVID process is we're going to be living online for quite a while. And so not just this year, but, going forward. And so today we're going to talk about gaming, not just video games, but we're going to talk about the gaming industry as a whole. And part of that actually includes casinos and online betting, track betting, et cetera. And that world has been disruptive. So being Choctaw, because Tvshka is a Choctaw word, by the way, if you don't know, that means warrior. And it's spelled with a V because of the Greek alphabet. And so we actually didn't have a U. So if you're looking for us online, Tvshka Productions. But anyway, so with being Choctaw, we have the casinos, huge revenue stream for us right now, and everything is shut down. And so how do we adapt? How do we, better prepare ourselves? Not just as a tribe, but also as a business. How do we better ourselves for the future? How do we, if there is something that comes back in the fall, maybe we don't get a vaccine for a few years and something comes back later. How do we better guard ourselves for that? And so one of my good friends who is in the chat hanging out, I know, man, I see him doing art back there and everything, but his name is DG Smalling. Some of you may have heard of him. He is a renowned artist worldwide, but he's from here in Oklahoma. He's actually from McCurtain County, where I moved to. And so I'm excited about that. But not only is he an artist, he is an entrepreneur. He's a hustler. He has his hands in so many different areas and is creating a lot of amazing impact and positive impact. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring on my friend, GG Smalling. What's up, GG?
I'm doing very well, Jonathan. What's going on?
Yeah, doing good, brother. Man.
So you're actually now living in not figuratively, but literally my stomping ground.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you guys probably had some of the powwows out here, some of the parties, everything.
Well, no. The stomp is separate to powwows because stomp is sacred. You don't mess with stomp.
Okay.
You know, because it's funny when you begin that way. Powwows are by definition pan-Indian. So powwows by definition they are venerated, but there's nothing sacred to them.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not ceremony; they are by definition competition. So stomp, that's pure ceremony because that's around green corn and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now what are the highway parties called? For the people out there.
Oh, you're talking about 49.
49s, yeah.
Now,
I know a lot of high school.
Now, your Niners are something different, man.
Yeah. that's what I was thinking.
I have a whole series on that. I have a whole series. And anybody who knows Warren Wheaton, I threw him down there right there. So Warren Wheaton with OU in the 45th, but he's over the Native American program for student living at OU. I remember years ago after the OU powwow, we went to a 49 there on the river, and we didn't bother anybody. We're in public land,
right?
But we're a bunch of Indians.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny because the cops came by to check it out, and we could have just stayed there. We didn't have to run, but suddenly people bolt, and it was really funny because we're looking out over the tall grass there, and over. Where everyone's moving, grandfather drooling around, just moving around on top of that. So that's what a 49 is.
Yeah. Hey, we lost you a little bit during that transition, but hey, man, thank you so much for coming in and on short notice. It was definitely very much behind this week.
And just so people know, I'm trying to keep this family friendly, but this is Kentucky Derby Day. This is my mint julep. I am in my studio.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were very much in that element, man. But yeah, so we're talking about gaming today, and just the industry as a whole. And so for the listeners and viewers, kind of what's been your interaction with the gaming industry? I know personally you're very much involved, with a lot of different organizations.
I have personally, when I decided to become an artist, my background's in defense work and crisis management. When I became an artist, I set a plan that was very different than other artists in Indian country. Good, bad, and different. Everybody's got to have their own plan. Normally in Indian country, they make a point of becoming a part of the whole Indian market circuit. And there's no harm, no foul with that. What I did was I looked around and I said, what is major industry in Indian country? There's just gaming. That's it. Gaming. That's the hardcore. So I went after that industry with my art, and that's why in different casinos you see my work, and I have devoted myself to the industry, because it really is the core of what has allowed us to be profitable and have the financial liquidity in this period of reclamation. Because let's be clear, this is a period of reclamation. And if you're not about it, you really need to understand why you don't think that way. Because the only reason why Jonathan, myself, and others within whether you're working for your respective nation, whether you're working for one of our businesses, the only way you're doing that is because there was some capital coming from gaming.
Yep. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Nothing from BIA was going to help out with that.
Period.
Yeah.
So don't disrespect the industry that got you here.
Yeah. So with gaming, what all have you kind of been up to? I know the conference got canceled because of COVID, but what other projects you have going on? Yeah.
I was supposed to be we're supposed to be unveiling some interesting projects, doing official artist for three different sports betting industry or sports betting companies. They're non-competes. They're all none of the three are from the United States. One from Australia, two from the UK, and obviously that was going to be announced at NIGA, which is the National Indian Gaming Association trade show, which was going to be in San Diego, and obviously that was axed, and we don't know when that's going to happen. We're also going to unveil for my artwork, also going to unveil the first artwork official, well, Gary Platt, which is a furniture manufacturer. They're the reason why there's furniture in casinos. Before them, there were no casino furnitures there at slot. At table games, yes, but at slot games, no. They were the first. And I'm the only designer outside of their stable to ever design for them. And we were going to unveil that.
Oh man.
I have fabric coming with that. I have wall designs and wall fabric coming, wall print with that. So this is really taking a lot of joy out of me. Yeah. Because I had all that steam and all that impetus. Anybody who's an entrepreneur, anybody who's working for themselves, you would invest your energy, you invest your heart, you invest besides your money, you invest everything else into it. And something like this takes it out of you, and it's just 2 tears in the bucket, man. You just got to roll.
Yeah, definitely. With entrepreneurship, momentum is very much key. I mean, staying in that rhythm with your workflow, but also kind of building that reputation. And with this, I mean, it was like everybody hitting a wall.
Yeah, and and I went, and it wasn't just that trade show. It was going into an international trade show, which was SBC, or sports betting conferences. Which in sports betting, they are the preeminent globally at what they do. So this past week, I was supposed to be in New York and New Jersey for the show, and supposed to be unveiling another official artist, a project. And so it's incredibly frustrating, but at the same time, hopefully you were listening to what I did before I was an artist. I was in crisis management.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I understand that, that this is just what it is. And, you, especially as an entrepreneur, you throw everything you have at it.
Yes.
Which is not a lot.
Yeah,
but you throw it at it. And you try to be very, very conscious and very discreet about your actions. And that's all you can do.
Yeah. Hey man, I know we could go on a lot of different tangents with entrepreneurship and just talk about the heart of it because we have before.
This piece right here.
Yeah.
This was another thing we were going to be unveiling.
Yeah.
So you have the largest multi-agency law enforcement initiative in Indian country's history.
Yeah.
And that's through U.S. Department of Interior and Bureau BIA called Operation Lady Justice. And this is a part of that series. And that whole operation is named for one of my paintings.
Yep.
And so we can't do hearing sessions. We can't do listening sessions.
Gosh, yeah, I didn't know it wasn't unveiled or even launched with that.
That was being unveiled. So this was like going to be a really big spring for me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's still a big summer or fall.
You know what? It's going to happen, so I'm not worried.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You've thrown your best. You've done your best. And the creator knows that you've done your best.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one's at fault here.
Yeah.
It's about being human. And, God bless those who are having to deal with this disease in their families. I've had a few friends and family members who've had to deal with it. I have friends and family who are having to be, dealing with the disease in hospitals and the viruses, and all that it brings with it. You know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated, but I'm just frustrated. But what it has done, and it's kind of leading into what your point with gaming, is it's revealed very key vacancies in gaming in Indian country. And namely, 30 years ago when tribal councils and people were going, well, we know we need capital. We know we need liquidity. How are we going to do it? And someone around them said, well, let's have a casino. Then you get into these grand debates of, our casino is going to be bad for us. Are we going to lose our values? Are we going to lose these things? Are we going to see exploitation, sexploitation, anything like this?
Mm-hmm.
What we've been able to do in 30 years is prove that not only are we the most regulated gaming market in the world, but let's keep in mind, a year ago, fiscally, Indian gaming became the majority gaming market in the U.S. market, which is the largest market in the world. Where, that was 51. At the end of this, COVID pandemic thing, I can honestly see Indian gaming muscling up to 57% in the United States.
Wow.
Now, what has been revealed to us is that we're at zero revenue. The lowest revenue this industry's ever seen was right after 9/11 when it dropped by 25%. That was the lowest it's ever been.
Gosh.
Not just for us, but for Vegas.
Yeah. So gaming as a whole. Yeah.
Everybody's zero unless you have online, unless you have that virtual component. So suddenly, people who are being very obstructionistic, because let's face it, the only reason why you're not into gaming, i.e. iGaming, esports, virtual sports, these sort of things, is because you refuse to read a book. It's not because the money isn't speaking is there. It's not because the fiscal argument is there. It's because the person refuses to grow up.
Yeah, and adhere to that change, because you talk about these vacancies that are becoming apparent.
No, you're being kind, and I don't have to be. You're being kind, and I don't have to be.
I've got to try to be kind, man. That's why I bring you on. So you're the bad cop.
The reason why you don't have to be kind, the reason you don't have to be kind about this is Indian gaming is the only gaming in the world at this moment that is 100% nationalized, meaning that every single penny that comes from Indian gaming is 100% taxed.
Yeah.
So the reason why I can get hot about this is because that person is obstructing money that could be going to another wellness center, another elder care, another health care and Head Start program, another clinic, another scholarship, another road, another whatever.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like Ted Turner said, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. Those people who do not take into our interests advancing ourselves are nothing but parachutes. They are the parachutes at the end of a drag race to slow you down.
Yeah. So when you come with those vacancies and with those parachutes, what are some technologies? What are some things that you kind of see coming down the road for gaming in general?
Oh, they're monumental.
Yeah.
Particularly out of Austria, we're seeing games that really address the idea of how groups of people, like most people on a Friday, Saturday, any kind of night when they go out and they want to have some cocktails or they go to a concert or whatever, not a lot of people go by themselves. They go maybe in a small group. Okay? 2, 3 out of 6 people won a game. The others are just there because of the concert. How do you keep those people in your facility? You have to have something for a group.
Yep.
So what the Austrians have done, there are some interesting, gameplays like Gambit. They are creating platforms that look a lot like they're video games, essentially, but they're group video games. And they're group video games that engage you to, as a group, you have your drinks, you have your snacks, all on a table. So think about the 2-person Pac-Man sort of thing, but you can have 8 people.
Yeah, going head to head.
That sort of stuff. There's one of those games right now. If you go to the district, just north of the district into the gaming area, right by the cantina, there in Durant.
Yep.
There's a Gambit game right there that is kind of being used as a beta, And it's a fantastic game. I mean, people get around it, and before you know it, if two people start doing it, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
I think that's one. But then we're going to see esports. We're going to see iSports. I mean, right now, because this is Kentucky Derby Day, because they can't have the Derby, what Churchill Downs is doing is they're using a virtual, one of these iGames, one of these virtual games as the feature for Kentucky Derby globally now.
Yeah. Yeah,
now,
that's huge.
What this has done is it's proven the company and the industry's argument that if you can't have the first best, have a second best. So what the second best has done is they've taken all the stats, all the different history behind the Derby, and they've created the dream competition. The 16 best horses in 141 years.
Wow.
The stats don't lie.
So Seabiscuit, Secretariat, things of that nature.
You get all of them. Ocho, you get American Pharaoh, you get all of them.
Gosh.
So what this is acknowledging that we are we live in this strange world now, whether it was Gibson or whether it was Asimov or whether it's Heinlein or whichever sci-fi author really wanted to project, because it's kind of all of them. We're there now. And in particular, what we're doing right now with SBC, when that conference ended, which is the largest global conference on sports gaming, it was at 4,000 people globally on a virtual summit.
Man, yeah.
4,000. Now, that doesn't say 4,000. What's 4,000? 4,000 spread out amongst executives and leadership globally is a lot of people. And all of them at the end of it were going, we like this. You know why? I don't have to leave my family. Now, yes, I need to see Jonathan face to face, but do I need to see you for a 2-hour meeting that takes me a day to get there and back weekly? No, that's nonsense. If I want to hang out with you, I'd rather spend a day with you, and then we develop relationship. This is how it's actually impacting the gaming industry. The industry is now going to save an enormous amount of money on transportation and logistics. They're equally going, just like any other business. And I would strongly recommend anybody thinking about this that has a high concentration of people in one place at one time to reevaluate. And this goes back to crisis management. You have to have built-in redundancies into your system so that during sickness periods, whether it's flu or whatever, that a percentage of your employees aren't a part of that cohort, so that your business can keep on going. So we're going to see out of this, HR programming finally accept platforms and matrices that acknowledge that you don't need to be face-to-face in order to prove that you're good at your job.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to eliminate a lot of BS. Because you and I both know there are certain kinds of people who do really good at one-to-one, but suck at their job. And suddenly, if I throw you and say, it's your turn to rotate and do your job from home, and suddenly you just divot down, you just plummet off a cliff.
Proof is in the pudding there.
You've hung yourself. So I actually don't think this is a bad thing in terms of any kind of organization. Gaming wise, what it's really done is for us is it reveals to Indian country that we must never take for granted this industry. Because this industry is what has built our hospitals. It's built our scholarship programs. It has built these things for us. And if anything has taught us in Indian country, we need to go back to the original intent of the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. And that intent was that this industry was to help you get liquidity to diversify into other things for stability, for security, for these things that, we're feeling right now.
That's good. Well, hey, brother, I know I don't want to keep you too much longer from the actual Derby. Now you had a Derby hat, is that right?
Oh, I got my Derby hat sitting over here. Yes, I do. And this is actually an Ascot hat.
Yeah, man, we got to get that
so
on
this
camera.
is brought over from, this is actually a hat from Ascot.
Okay.
In the UK. So, yeah. So, yeah.
So what's one thing you're really excited about, coming up in this next year that you really want to see out of gaming, whether it be esports, iSports, or, kind of the combination of casino?
What I really like for us to see in Indian gaming is finally embracing globalism.
Yeah.
That we recognize, especially with sports betting, the best solutions in the world are not from the United States. They're not from the Americas at all. The best solutions in the world are coming from Europe. They're coming from Asia. Look at a group like Betfred. It's the oldest sports book in the UK. If you're going to look for solutions, are you going to look to someone who's never done it,
right,
or someone who's been doing it for 100 years? There's no reason for nation. If your solutions are not international, it's time to grow up.
Yeah.
Put on your big girl panties and grow up.
Yeah, because
we're another language.
Yeah, because we're all interconnected now. I mean, we were before, but now we're so much more. And with COVID, we've seen that. And the gaming industry. I mean, you've seen Madden tournaments from NFL players. I mean, you started seeing everybody move to that, and I'm excited for it. Because I've been a huge advocate for the gaming industry. Being online and even what you guys were kind of talking about at one point was having the kind of celebrity poker kind of thing. I don't want to speak too much. I don't know how much is.
We need to be seeing. And I think we will see more and more in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We've already seen a significant internationalization of the market in the past 5 years in particular. I think from here on out, we should just consider ourselves a part of that global market.
Mm-hmm.
And any decision making that doesn't take in international options should be suspect. Because if you're not doing that, then you're not doing really good due diligence. It means you're actually not doing due diligence. It means that you're just working what's in front of you and not doing what's good for the nation.
Yeah, that's good. I love that, brother. And hey, man, I appreciate you so much. So for the people that are watching, whether it's live or it's in the future, how can they reach out to you? How can they support you kind of in this time?
Well, the easiest to do it are two ways. You could go to just Facebook and just do DG Smalling, SMALLING, like small ing, DG Smalling, or DG Smalling at protonmail.com. And just Proton, like the atom, quark sort of thing, Proton. So DG Smalling at proton.com. And, I'm here in my studio in Oklahoma City. And as Jonathan knows, particularly for Indian country, if you're ever in Oklahoma City, let me know. Come by the studio. Obviously not right now, but when we can. And, hang out. The studio and the whole, everything I have here is designed for entertainment. I like having people here. I like to know what's going on in Indian country. I like seeing all of Indian country struggle, advance, and thrive. I don't care where you are in that moment and where you are in that place, as long as you're trying to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the point is about.
Amen. Hey, appreciate you, Yuckle Kid Nafki. Hey, we'll see you, man. You have a good one. Hey,
have a good one, eh?
I'll definitely be reaching out and kind of see how that Kentucky Derby went.
Please. Cheers, y'all.
All right, be safe. All right, man. Thank you so much to DG. Man, I can always talk to that guy for hours upon hours. And yeah, and like he was talking about, so, we see this huge shift and, we kind of hit this wall as kind of a society. And you see a lot of these, open markets kind of, open up a little bit more, or people kind of look to it as being, more viable than they did before. When we had in-person meetings, yeah, people weren't thinking about Zoom. I wish I would have bought stock in Zoom in February. Might be sitting a little bit prettier with my 401k or something. But also, because that's when we kind of made the shift ourselves as a company too, was looking at it and kind of saying, hey, how can we help the online community? How can we, kind of reach out to gamers and such? And so we've been diving more into video games ourselves, playing some Call of Duty, learning Fortnite, still sucking at it. But a couple of people, I'm going to introduce my good friend, Michael Hector first. Man, he introduced me to a lot of the gaming culture. Him and a friend helped me build my, first computer, for gaming, which I still have and still runs fairly decently. Can't keep up with some of the newer ones, but I'm going to go and bring him on. Hey, Michael Hector, how we doing today, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, doing good, man. How you been?
Doing good.
Yeah. So with DG, we were talking about, some of the group gamings that are going on kind of in the casinos. So you have almost video game kind of almost like LAN parties now, in person.
Yeah, I was kind of listening to you guys talk about that. Like, I was hoping he would go a little bit more in depth too. Like, how are they interactive with 8 people around them? Are they all gambling while they do this? Yeah.
So it actually looks like I've seen the display he was talking about. And there's some that even have like actual guns. I mean, it's a true merger of betting and video games. And so it's almost like arcade style. I mean, but you have a screen on front and, you can be playing somebody in Vegas. You could have your crew of 4 or 5 people, 8 people, like you said, and you can be playing somebody in Vegas, play somebody in New York or wherever another establishment is that has that game. And just kind of depending on whatever the entertainment is. A lot of them are kind of based upon like a bingo kind of system as far as like, kind of the algorithm in the back part of it.
Yeah.
So chances, I mean, there's still a little bit of strategy and picking and such, but yeah, it's very interesting.
It would be kind of crazy to be able to link to a casino from your home, virtual reality wise, and be sitting at a poker table next to other people, but maybe you're logged into a Harrah's account and maybe you're at a Harrah's casino but home.
Exactly right. Hey, I'm sick, but I had the my ticket to the World Series of Poker. Hey, let me just
exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. And with COVID, everybody's staying at home. And so that's really kind of, shine a big, light on it essentially. But yeah, so with COVID, what all you got going on? I know work wise that slowed down quite a bit, but kind of what are you doing kind of to fill in that time? You playing a little more games or?
I mean, I'm playing a little bit more games. My girlfriend's still working, so that's still helping out. My job's really cool. They're still sending relief packages every 2 weeks as well, money wise to me. So that's really good too. I actually just got into like DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff, and that's actually been working out really well because everybody's ordering out.
Yeah.
So I'm making some good money there right now, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. So you actually became an entrepreneur then. Started driving. Yeah.
For a little bit too. I'm still kind of looking into the house thing.
Yeah.
On the side. So.
Right. But I mean, like to adjust from COVID, it was, hey, lost my job. Lost a little bit of my income, so some coming in, but where else can I find work? Where else can I hustle? And so
yeah, it really doesn't stop, man. I don't have a lot of time to think about that. Just gotta find out where the grind is and go do it.
Yeah. Now I love hearing those stories because and nobody is unscathed from this. Everybody's affected, top to bottom, and I love hearing those stories of people just not buying into the fear, or at least not backing down and rising to that challenge. And so, but yeah, so with video games, man, I mean, what are you kind of, I know I see you on Planet Side, through Discord. What else are you kind of jumping on playing? Are you kind of doing nostalgia? Are you kind of finding out some new games and trying them out, or kind of what's your digest look like?
As I get older, I guess a lot of games don't interest me as much anymore. I guess maybe I do a lot of just nostalgic stuff. I play a lot of Counter-Strike, PlanetSide. It's kind of weird to think, but a lot of the free-to-play games end up being some of the most popular ones. I mean, think about Fortnite or Dota or League of Legends. These are all free-to-play games. PlanetSide 2 is free-to-play, but there's nothing out there like it, so I'm pretty stuck playing that game. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Hey, we had a guy that was in the backstage, Raptor. Did you know him?
Yeah, actually, he's actually somebody that I met about a week ago, and he's actually a very interesting character.
Yeah, send him the invite again. He was in here and dropped out.
Okay, hold on one second.
I definitely want to get him on there. But yeah, so while Mike's kind of finding all that information, helping us out with it, getting our guest on, another thing is that like a lot of the gaming manufacturers, developers, they're actually giving away stuff for free. They're bringing back some of the retro games. I know Assassin's Creed 2 is free now. There's quite a bit, through Stream, through Epic Games, through a lot of the different developers. So if you're, new to gaming, welcome. It is an awesome world. I mean, there's a lot of really great people. There are some insane people that, cuss and talk about your mom all the time, but don't take that to heart, but there's a lot of really great games to kind of check out. I know me personally. I checked out a Pandemic, right? So the board game, and we played on Sundays. But we did that for a couple of Sundays actually. But another one is Ticket to Ride, and we're actually going to be playing that this Sunday tomorrow. So if you're interested in playing, let me know. This whole week I've got behind on sending invites, but there's so many games coming out, so many that are free, so many that are cheaper. But even, some of the ones that do cost money, they're worth it. The communities are so much fun and involving, and you can actually see like a lot more people kind of actually like streaming and doing some of these live parties. And so if there's a game that you know of and you want to see us play it, or just even let us know about it, drop it in that chat below, or to the side, if you're watching on Facebook. We want to know, because I try to get a healthy digest as well. I don't like to just do one game repeatedly over and over and over and abuse it. I like to get good at it, but I don't want to abuse it because, kind of want to, dabble in some other areas, Plants vs. Zombies. I really dug that. That was one I kind of explored. And so I'm going to bring Michael back in. Hey, Mike, did you get a hold of him?
I believe so. Is he in?
Not yet. Not just yet.
Okay,
but,
yeah, I'm talking to him right now.
Yeah.
Should be right there.
Yeah.
Just give him a second.
Yeah. While he's kind of coming in.
He is in Pakistan, so I'm sure our internet is probably a little bit better.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So with you, like, what are some new games that you've kind of tried out or kind of seen?
Some new games. I would probably have to say From the Depths, or maybe something like I'm sorry?
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. I'm just agreeing with you. I'm looking them up right now. Yeah, From the Depths. Yeah.
There's obviously. I'm like I said. I'm probably more still on the nostalgia. Like I've been seeing a lot of my old friends play like 7 Days to Die. I'm still. I really like to play games that are available on Steam mostly. They have a really good beta section there. You can play a lot of games that are in alpha, beta, green light, things like that. Help out new developers. I like to see what kind of new developers are making.
Very cool. Hey, all right, yeah, he's here now, ladies and gentlemen. The Raptor. What's going on, Raptor?
Hello there.
Hey, how we doing, brother?
Doing great. Actually, it's it's almost 4 a.m. here. My friend invited me to the studio, asked me to talk. Yeah. So I'm just trying this out.
Hey, well, thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you for joining. Yeah, man. So what kind of games do you kind of kind of gravitate towards?
Talking about gaming, I've been I could start from my humble beginnings. When I used to play The Hobbit with my mom. Okay, the very first Hobbit that came out. That game was interesting, but soon I moved on to FPS gaming. And the thing is that here in Pakistan, I grew up with a very different sense of gaming, since I never really got an experience of online gaming. Now the thing with Pakistan is that piracy is. Oh, 1 second.
Nope, yeah, you're good. Yeah, man, it's talking about Hobbit. Oh my gosh, have you played that one? I remember.
Yeah, way back in the day. Honestly, I think that's when I did a lot of console gaming. Back in the day when I did both, but now I just kind of use the console just for apps.
Right.
Ever since I kind of got more into PC gaming, that's pretty much all I do. I'd like to see virtual reality also get like a little bit cheaper as well.
Oh man, right. Yeah, I know the Vader game that they had for the virtual reality. I really want to try that one out.
Have you checked out the trailers for Half-Life Alyx?
Oh, Half-Life Alyx, have not.
It's ALYX.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about that.
You good? Yeah.
So where was I? Yeah, talking about gaming in Pakistan in general. I started off playing pirated games since the thing is that, of course, games they have these IDs, they're bought on Steam or whatever way that you obtain them. But here, you can basically, there's these stores and like they're readily available. It's nothing bad. You can get a disc or any game or anything for under $1, you could say.
Yeah.
And so basically there was no such thing as online gaming, at least in my life at that time. And so I was mostly just a fan of FPS games like God or Crisis or Medal of Honor, if you've heard about that one.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
This was kind of my childhood. Soon after, when I learned about Steam, and now a whole other thing opened up, like that this is online gaming. Like, what's this shit? Sorry for this. So I really got like into what do you say, Counter-Strike, and I actually played the game for about 2 or 3 years, and I spent a lot of time with that game. It was quite fun. The toxicity and the try-harding apart, it was quite fun. But yeah, that's where I am now, and now I'm just using Steam for other things. I just buy my games. I never knew about this thing, so I was just resorting to the discs that I could get for under $1, just like that, and play the games that I wanted. But Steam is actually much better in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely opens you up to like a whole new plethora of choices. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I can actually kind of relate a little bit. I spent a year in Iraq. not really my vacation, but
I see.
But yeah, that was the same thing. At that time, it was like 2007, 2008. The internet was there, but it just wasn't as bountiful as it is now. And so movies was very limited as what we could get. We called them Haji films, which could be like a slur. So apologize to anybody who doesn't think good to that. But the piracy. Yeah, I mean it's like $5. You can get like 20 different movies. So we
very relatable. Very relatable. Yeah. The thing is that online gaming actually in Pakistan is not very common. It's actually quite rare for people to be playing here. Of course, there's the avid Counter-Strike players. The only thing our Pakistani people know about is Counter-Strike. They're like the first thing they hear about and the last thing they hear about.
FPS in the world.
It's like that's the only thing that goes around here in Pakistan. And the second thing that goes around here is hacked servers or cracked servers of Modern Warfare 2. These are the two things that are prevalent in Pakistan anyways. Other than that, the online gaming scene here is really just not existent.
Yeah. Now, is part of that because of infrastructure, as far as like internet connection and connectivity, or is it more culture?
Connection. You brought me to that point. This is I was talking to Michael just the other day, and he asked me, it's like, what's your internet speed there, man? And I said I'm sitting at a solid 10 Mbps. This is the best I can get here, man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, he told me 1,000, and I was like, okay, man. I mean, it's great, but we don't get that stuff here.
Yeah, good for you. Well, hey, I'm in the middle. I'm sitting at 30. So
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, actually, not every city in America has Google Fiber or things like that, but I think they have equivalents of Google Fiber in other cities, don't they? I think AT&T and other people are doing like 1,000 up, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely with the larger markets. I live in rural Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So
It all depends where you live.
they're getting fiber. But even then, I mean, they just don't know really how to maximize what they do have. But that's awesome though. That's great that you're able to find Steam and find kind of like a new love and be able to fill that out as far as with gaming. One more question for you, Raptor, is kind of over there in Pakistan. What's the COVID impact on you all?
It's actually the thing is that Pakistan was one of the countries that initiated its lockdowns and restrictions way before anybody else did, since Pakistan is actually not as affected by COVID like other countries and places. So when the first two cases were reported here in Pakistan for COVID, they immediately closed down all the schools. This was the first step that they took. And after that, they just regularly started locking everything down. Things are open at a set time. Okay, those like bakeries and other shops are not allowed to open at all, and everything is in lockdown. People, like, the police is harsh here, like really really harsh. The people that are outside, like, since there's a whole lot of illiteracy here in Pakistan, and I especially live in like a very suburban area, you could say. It's like, so it's very prevalent here, where people would be just going out, hanging out with friends in the middle of the night. So the police is actually going out and beating these people up and then they're putting them in jail or just sending them back home. It's really strict. However, at the time, they're saying, or they have mostly lifted the lockdown, which I have no clue how it will affect anything. Apart from that, if it really hasn't had any effect on gaming in Pakistan was always at a lower level, and there's little to no esports scene here in Pakistan either. There were some events in the past, if I remember correctly. I think Mountain Dew held an event in Pakistan, an esport gaming event. But other than that, there's really no scene for gaming here, even despite the COVID lockdown.
Well, we got one of our gamer community friends locally. He says, "I have fiber." We're good for you, Ryan. Good for you.
Thing is that I have fiber here as well. It's called fiber, but I'm still getting 10 Mbps.
Just the 10, so they're kind of throwing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He says his is strong. So you guys can see the screen. He's got the arm muscle.
Yeah, I got you.
But awesome, man. Well, hey, I'm glad you took the time to kind of jump on here with us.
It was nice talking.
You don't have to leave at all. But if you do, just let us know and you just kind of drop out. But sure. We're gonna kind of we're talking about Half-Life Alyx. And I do want to kind of pull up some of the gameplay.
I've heard about that. I've actually seen some of the gameplay on YouTube. It's actually, not bad.
This is one of the games that have turned me into really wanting to get a virtual reality just to play.
Exactly. It's like it's being really called like one of the best games out in VR now. So you can imagine.
I mean, first of all, this is coming from Valve, which they made Half-Life. And Half-Life, I mean, I think Half-Life was made in 1995, I think, and it's still making awards. I mean,
Yeah. Valve and Half-Life is, I mean, they've really set the tone. And I'm not sure how much content or how much actual product they put out, but like they seem to take their time and do it right instead of just really trying to push it and make a deadline.
The thing with them too is there's a meme about them and they never go past 2.
So there's 2.5.
Well, so you got Half-Life 2 forever to make a Half-Life 2, and then of course you got Left 4 Dead 2. It took them a long time to make Left 4 Dead 2 as well.
Yeah.
So who knows if they'll ever make a Half-Life 3? They just might continue making other stuff in the universes. But this game looks so fun.
Yeah.
Isn't the story of Half-Life Alyx set in the future, in the past of events from Half-Life 1 or 2?
I'm not sure, but it is Alex from Half-Life 2, so it is a familiar face.
I mean, I think like people were mostly just anxious for this game to come out, just some other part in the Half-Life series, since people were really disappointed on the cliffhanger that they left them with, that Valve left with us with on Half-Life 2. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
Yeah.
always got to be a cliffhanger.
You got to always leave people wanting more.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since people have
You
been
want them
wanting
to
more. I'm
want you to
surprised they
make a
still
third
wanted
one.
it.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about here. With the, I mean, just how fluid this would feel with virtual reality. Yeah, because it's just just the hands.
Do you remember the Portal games that we played?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, can you imagine Portal VR?
Dude,
I
that'd be
think that would be amazing.
so
It's just
cool.
that VR games don't get enough love as they are right now, since they're
'Cause
just
they're too
not as
expensive.
prevalent or easily available. It's a
Exactly.
bit
They're too
expensive, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was saying earlier, I think they should become just a little bit cheaper, and I definitely think more people would buy them. More
I
people
mean,
would
as
play them.
time goes on, they're
Mhm.
bound to get cheaper. So
Well, it's
same
definitely
goes
the
with
future, in
anything.
my opinion. I don't think
Yeah,
it's hard to believe that in 100 years we're still going to be using keyboards and mouses, right?
of
Right.
course, but but they're surely gonna be coming up with other designs for this VR. They're gonna have to make this, a two-way thing where there's a cheap end and then there's a high-priced end. So at least, some guy that wants to experience the game in VR can actually try and
Right.
experience it.
Yeah. Well,
True.
and I mean, like Google Glass. They had the glassware, and they had that 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was amazing,
Yeah,
but it's never really hit the market. Some of the
exactly.
materials are a little bit too expensive to manufacture or get, and just sometimes it's just not the right timing for that market or that product.
Because I remember this thing, like it was really popular then, like there was a whole story going about this, that there's this virtual reality Google Glass thing,
Yep.
and we were like, everyone was so hyped about it, but then it just died off in a month or so. Like no one ever asked about it or knew about it anymore, so it was
Yeah.
strange.
Well, I think it was like 1,000 or 2,000 for the glasses. And so it was like, yeah, you're gonna buy it, but you're not gonna use it.
Yeah.
Is that the stuff Dr. Disrespect wears when he's on his stream?
Yeah. I remember when I was lived in Kansas City, I saw him. I actually got to put him on. I think I have a picture with it, but it was like,
Oh, nice.
yeah. I mean, it was amazing, amazing technology. But yeah, but it was like, okay, well, yeah. When's the price point going to get to where people are going to buy it? And not. I mean, yeah, you spend $2,000, but are you going to spend Are you going to get $2,000 worth of use?
Which honestly, I never understood that. I mean, especially when you make something so big, thinking that maybe there's going to be such a high demand for it, you set the bar so high and it doesn't work. I mean, even if you put it, did it really cost that much to make those glasses? Probably not, in my opinion, right? I mean, you probably could have sold them for a lot cheaper, and you could have still made your money, and more people, you would have made more money.
Yeah. Well, with emerging technology, you're always going to be paying for the research.
Yeah.
So if it takes them 10 years to develop it, you're paying for that team's salary for 10 years. But a lot of NASA, there's like a lot of that, like the kind of high end, scientific binds, and I think they're applying those. So it's still getting its use. It has its market. It's just not domestic. Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So that's with VR. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, you already got multiple companies developing it, with Xbox, PlayStation. I mean, the whole gamut. And so you have enough people working on it, and it's going to be competitive already, and it is competitive. And competition is what's going to drive that price down, and hopefully drive the product and quality up.
Absolutely.
And then
you probably
once they
got
get
freelancers doing some stuff too, I'm sure.
Hopefully, since if VR doesn't get a competitive scene, since it's more of a casual thing, it's gonna stay at this price point. It's not a lie.
Speaking about how COVID has been affecting gaming industry though in the United States, I will say a lot of games right now have definitely been rejuvenated by the COVID epidemic. There's probably a lot of games that we're going to probably end up in the trash can that at least get a couple more months to live. If anything, I mean, just from big games like Counter-Strike, or even games that Raptor and I play, like Planetside 2, those games have seen an increase by at least 20 to 40%. I mean, that's huge.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure the microtransactions for Fortnite and other games like Smite, I guarantee they probably went up as well.
Yeah, I know Call of Duty got my micro purchases.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all business with this. Yep.
Man, yeah, they suckered me on that.
So it's been fun playing online games actually the past couple months. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of stuff to shoot at if you're playing a first-person shooter.
Man, right? Yeah, you got PUBG, you have Call of Duty with the Warzone that you can get for free. Fortnite, you guys, like I said, CS:GO is coming back a little bit. PlanetSide, that's one that me and Mike share a mutual love for.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about a lot of stuff to shoot at. You remind me when I actually got Black Ops 3 on Steam the first time, to play online multiplayer. I remember I was so excited since this was the first for me, an online Call of Duty game. What is this? What is this thing? So I hopped into a match, one of the first that I ever found, and within I don't know, about, let's say, half a month, I could not get into any matches since there are no servers available here in Pakistan and there's no one playing the game here anyways. So it was basically, you could say, a waste of money if I was going for the online aspect anyways.
Yeah.
Well, it's just research.
Well, I do feel for him because even just in PlanetSide 2, and you know how processor heavy that game is, John.
Mm-hmm.
I think Raptor is always at like a 200 ping or something in that game, just because there's no servers close to Pakistan. So that's his problem in a lot of video games. What's your thing in Counter-Strike though, Raptor? I mean, I'm sure Counter-Strike has one close to you, right?
The closest server that I get for Counter-Strike is Dubai, and I get at max a 60 or a 50 ping, which is that's a really good day for me.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, we had a guy in Call of Duty. He had 100 ping. I almost dropped him. Like, come on, buddy. What are you doing?
It's the one, honestly, man. It is the one to have like a 600 ping you got to worry about. They're just teleporting. Their bullets hit you like 5 seconds later.
When you're playing with a high ping, and I can relate to this a lot. You have to actually, when you're shooting something, or if you're playing a game with bullet drop or bullet travel time, you actually have to predict a bit more, because when you shoot the thing, it comes out a second later. So you have to be like, okay, this is when it's gonna come out.
It's a
bit of a gamble. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna say if you have a decent KDR with that, then you get to some good internet connection. You're gonna be the best player in the world.
We've been doing a lot of tanking.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of Prowler stuff and vanguarding and playing
awesome.
Yeah, I've been playing with him. I've been riding the gunner. I'm learning tanking from him, man. It's interesting.
Yeah,
thing doesn't really matter, except for when there's other issues, and then all I see is everything flying in the air from tanks to infantry. So that's sad.
That's him losing his connection.
Right?
Yeah.
Talking about
Since there's just, I don't know, variants or some other stuff that I really don't have any idea about.
Yeah, then you're just kind of playing in frames. It's almost like moving pictures.
Yeah. All I press is tab, and then in the bottom right I read server latency 10,000 ms. Well, okay, that's great.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're able to enjoy it still. I mean, it sounds like you do.
It's really enjoyable. It's not like this all the time, but the thing with Pakistan is that, like, right now even there's a storm going out. There's a storm going on outside, and there's rain. So as soon as rain touches the ground, like, the ISPs, they just go into the ground. Everything just shuts down. Everything is slow. So it's very strange, even though it's fiber optic and it's not supposed to be like that. But, well, what can I say?
You still playing Factorio, John?
Man, I haven't jumped on it in a while. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I need to kind of revive that.
I've seen a lot of my friends playing that one. I'm wondering if there was a deal for it on Steam recently.
Yeah, I had a friend gift it to me.
Nice.
I think for Christmas. Yeah, they gifted me that, and then Portal. And he's like, "Have you ever played Portal?" It's like, "Oh, I played Portal?"
If you want to play just some nostalgic stuff sometime, and I'll play some Portal with you.
Oh man, definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, now we're talking about PlanetSide and all these other games, man. Yeah, I almost kind of want to end the show right now and just jump on and play.
Nice.
But But yeah, so I mean, yeah, do you guys have anything else kind of gaming industry as far as with the COVID impact? What do you kind of think is in store for us? Here in a few years.
I honestly think that the gaming industry is really going strong right now. It is the most watched thing in the world. More people watch people playing video games than they do actual sports or actual TV. If you look at the statistics, the most watched thing I believe last year was the Dota 2 championships, I believe, or the League of Legends, one of the two. It was above. I think it got the 1 year too that the soccer champions were too. I think it even beat that. So I mean, I think gaming is gonna really be booming in the next couple of years, and even after that, I think gonna even see things on TV, more channels dedicated to championships and tournaments and online streaming and things like that. Now you have Mixer and Twitch. You're gonna see a lot more streaming, people on live. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's definitely just beginning.
Yeah.
The thing is that I'm pretty sure that if countries mostly from Asia join in on this train, gaming will really prosper. Since you can imagine the population that Pakistan, India, all these Asian countries have. But the problem with these countries is that gaming in general is just looked down upon, and mostly children that are brought up or any household in general despises these things, so they're brought away from it, and they really never get any recognition for it or any information on it, and they just move on with a day-to-day job in the end. If you could get Asian countries, at least in my opinion, more on board with the scene of gaming, it would really see a bigger outcome in the future.
I think it's probably the same in the United States as well. I feel when people talk about playing video games professionally or as a job, people will probably look at you and laugh and say, "Okay, well, let me know when that works out for you."
Well, I'm talking even casually, like gaming here. A computer here is despised. Like most households here don't even.
It could come down to maybe like culture, social settings, religious settings, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's actually really true.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the question earlier. I mean, what's the biggest barrier for Pakistan in gaming? Is it the culture or that technology? Yeah, because here in America, you got friends that play. That are adults, have kids, everything. But you kind of mention it to anybody else, and it's like, oh well, what do you do for your job where you can play video games?
Yeah, because I want that job. If I can make good money, tell me where I can do that.
Yeah, it's like no, I still hustle. I got a full-time job, a part-time job, and I play whenever I can. That's just the way I relax. You go play softball tournaments. I go play in Madden or play in whatever tournament. So.
Which I like getting out of the house and playing sports too.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those deals where it hasn't really completely set in with I think the collective conscious, as far as it being not being a childish thing. I definitely can see it where, hey, okay, if there's a smelly trash bag or something and you're not taking care of what you need, then yeah, but there's other things that people do that could be seen as a waste of time to any other individual. But us as humans, we work to live, we don't live to work. And we need that balance of work-life balance.
There's that, and you mentioned actually technological advancements. I'd like to make a point on that you're really right there, since gaming in Pakistan is also even further more limited, because we don't really have that kind of technology here, and most of our technology is imported from outside. Any type of these gaming anything related to gaming in general, or technology in general, is imported from outside. So people aren't really into the idea of buying something that costs $200 for a price of $600 or even $800, since imports and stuff, after imports, it really does become that expensive. So because of that, there's no love for these things.
Yeah. Well, hey, brother, I hope things kind of start turning a little bit. Maybe you being there and you being connected and in the community, you can help kind of drive that change, for your generation and future generations.
It's worth trying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, good, man. Well, hey, I want to thank both of you all, definitely for coming on, talking about our love for games and, just the gaming culture and kind of how, COVID's affecting us in that matter. So Raptor, for, people that maybe want to, add you on, either Counter-Strike or some of the different gaming, elements, you got a gamer tag that you kind of stick with. It's Raptor.
Yeah, it's the same. That this is the name. This is the gamer tag. Yeah.
There we go.
I really don't have any online presence, but I'm on Steam by the name of Raptor, and yeah, that's the gamer tag.
Awesome. All right, hey, Michael.
Hey, Johnny, thank you so much for having me on today, man. It's always great talking to you, man. Even if we're not doing something like this, so.
Yeah, definitely. And yours is Samurai Gerbil on Steam, is that right?
Yeah. If anybody wants to add me on Steam and play some games, Samurai Gerbil is my call tag on Steam. You're more than welcome to send me a friend request.
Definitely. Well, thank you both so much. I'm gonna drop you out of the stream, but you can still stick around after we end the broadcast. We can hang out and chat. But yeah, definitely thank you both so much for that. And thank you all for participating with us. Whether you were live, whether you're in the future. I feel like it's kind of saying the same thing over and over, but I got to do that, right? It's a callback. It's the mantra. It's the script, so to say. But we really do appreciate you. And let us know down below in the comments, like how's COVID affecting you? Where are you from actually? You're from the States or you're from another country, and what does gaming look like for you in that culture? Because this definitely is something that's not going to go away anytime soon. It's going to keep growing and it's going to keep evolving. And then, it's saturating into the casino market where people in person are basically playing video games where they bet and they're competing against other people, across the world. And so it's already getting into the physical realm. So who knows? Maybe there's gas stations where before they had old pinball machines, maybe they do have a quick VR machine that people hop into and play with someone across the world or something. Who knows what our consumer habits are going to evolve into. And especially with COVID, with us being isolated for so long, learning Zoom, learning how to do the virtual backgrounds, but just really having to shift our focuses and such. And, what does that look like for business? What does it look like for the meetings? What does it look like for, our interactions? I don't think we'll ever get away from actual, face-to-face interactions because we're humans. We need that. That's definitely, part of us, part of, how the creator, made us. But it's going to be interesting. And so let us know what you think. You got any questions? You got any comments on that? You got links to, some free games, holla at your boy. Let me know. Because this ain't cheap. And but yeah, let us know what you think about it. Definitely like the video and follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Mixer. I mean, we sign up to all the accounts because we're testing it out. We're testing all these accounts out for you all. So if you are a creator, content creator, gamer, let us know. If you want some overlays, some custom overlays created, things of that nature, we definitely want to help you out in understanding the streaming process and then also help market, your brand. But I will stop talking. I will end this broadcast, but not without thanking you guys one more time. You guys are awesome. You'll have a beautiful day. I know we will here in beautiful Broken Bow, Oklahoma. But thank you, and we'll see you next time. There we go. Peace.